Give a dog a chew toy and you're like, that'll keep him occupied for a while. That's what Borat did for straight men the first time he went, my wife.
Good morning, BBs.
Good morning.
Oh, it is too early.
It is.
Welcome.
I'm seeing slander in chat saying it's not exactly 8 a.m.
Get wrecked, liars. Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan.
And it's exactly 8 a.m.
Of course it is.
Exactly.
Good morning. It's good to see you all.
Oh, boy.
My hair is a mess. It almost did it. And it didn't.
It almost did it.
It almost did it.
It almost did. See, but at the same time, everybody's like, no, your hair looks great.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. All right, hi.
Hit the mic one more time before we get started.
Okay.
Great. Let's do it.
Yeah, start us off strong. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for starting your day with us. Happy Monday. Hope it's a start to a pretty good week.
I think it is. I think it's going to be a
going on
great
this
week. Huh?
Is there stuff going on this week?
Stuff going on this week.
It's getting closer to Halloween.
Stuff going on this week.
Every week is closer to Halloween.
In our hearts.
And that's what matters. Also in reality.
But also in reality, but also in our hearts.
And that's what matters.
We've got some big news this morning. Something just broke.
That is true. We just got the trailer for Hawkeye as well as a poster.
Yeah.
This, of course, is the Hawkeye Disney Plus series. Let's take a look.
First of all, let's take a look at this beautiful picture.
Let's look at the picture. I think I hit the mic again.
This holiday season, the best gifts come with a bow. Hawkeye.
Okay.
I love it. It looks very much like a Matt Fraction, David Aja Hawkeye cover, which is what they're going for. You know, you've got Clint and Kate and the dog.
Do you think it's like holiday-y themed? It takes place, it would appear at Christmassy time.
Yeah, I believe it's. I mean, it looks like they're starting big with a big holiday beginning.
I'm still so skeptical about this series.
Look,
I can't get excited for it. I know that it's mostly supposed to be about Kate. I get it.
have you watched the trailer yet?
No,
because I also
we're about to watch this live together.
We're about to watch this for the first time live. But I'll say this. You know, obviously we've had our. Let's run that opening. We've had our issues with the Hawkeye character in the MCU, obviously.
I just can't get excited for another Jeremy Renner thing.
Yeah, I like that they're trying to lean more into the comics, but it's tough because they can't lean as hard into the comics as I would like because Hawkeye in the MCU is not the Hawkeye from the comics.
Right.
And so they can't tell that same story. But Marvel does just keep on crushing on Disney Plus.
It's true. I have no reason to distrust them with how quality everything's been so far. But I do agree with Nadia Bean in the live studio audience who said, I'm hyped for Haley Steinfeld to take over, but I don't know if I can look at Jeremy Renner's face for an entire series.
Yeah, you know, we're a little over Renner. We're a little over Renner, and I think we all agree that Renner should have wound up in the lady pit, you know?
Yes, of course.
But the handoff to Kate Bishop is great. I love it. And if this is how we get the handoff to Kate Bishop,
and hopefully he hands it off and leaves.
and maybe this makes us love Hawkeye even more. Like maybe this makes us like
more than none.
Maybe this makes us like the Clint character.
Okay.
Like who knows?
Yeah.
Let's take a look at this trailer.
All right, let's manage the audio.
Let me give us this.
Yeah, give us those captions.
Yeah, let's do this.
This is the first Christmas we've had together in years.
I love you guys.
I didn't even say that well.
I'm making up for some lost time.
Authorities are wondering if the masked vigilante who terrorized the city's underworld is back.
The past has caught up with me.
Should we be worried?
No, it's nothing. I'll be home for Christmas. I promise.
Okay.
When I wore this suit, I made a whole lot of enemies.
So it's Kate dressed as Ronan.
You're a Hawkeye.
Who the hell are you?
Some people have actually called me the world's greatest archer.
Okay.
Are you one of those people?
Oh, we can't play this music. I'm getting worried.
In a day or two? Hang on a second.
Yeah. I mean, we can turn it down a little, but
Okay, sure.
I mean, it's fun. It's definitely fun. I like that they found a way, they finagled a way to put it in New York where it's supposed to be.
I guess, but it feels like a Christmas movie. It feels like a low budget Christmas movie more than it feels like obviously the fight scenes are high budget and things like that. It is a very high budget thing. But you know what I mean? In story, I'm getting Christmas movie. I'm getting
Well, I mean, they are
music.
setting it at Christmas. I mean, and they put jingle bells behind it. Like, of course you're getting Christmas vibes.
I'm not getting Christmas vibes. I'm getting Christmas movie vibes, which is
Yeah.
a totally different thing.
Oh, I don't know. I think it looks great. Hold on, you.
It was trying not to play any extra of that music.
Oh, I just
It
wanted to
was-
see.
it was
I just wanted to
prolonged.
see the end of it because there was still more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it looks good. I think it looks fun. You know, it doesn't look like the most serious thing in the world, but I don't think it should for the
I
Hawkeye
agree.
movie.
Yeah, I don't need it to be serious at all.
Yeah.
But
And-
I'm not sold personally.
I don't know. Some great things are set at Christmas. I'm one of the few people that really enjoyed Iron Man 3.
Sure, and
You
I
know?
think Iron Man 3 was a fun movie. I have no personal problem with Iron Man 3.
Time628 says this sort of looks like the Hawkeye version of Die Hard. They're definitely going for that. You know, they're definitely trying to get you to feel that.
That's the thing is I'm like, look, it's got that like Die Hard thing to me that I'm just like, this does not personally interest me.
Oh, I mean, I think
It's
but
more
I,
of an adventure Christmas movie.
but I think that's the vibe that Clint had in that run of comics that they're basing it off of, though. It was a very like,
It's okay that it exists. It's also
Yeah.
okay that it's just not for me.
yeah, totally. I'm just saying. I think that's what they're definitely going for is this Die Hard with Clint Barton. You know, where it's like he's gonna get beaten up and because he's the only one without powers. And I just think it's fun, and I think I already like the vibe between the two of them. They seem to play off each other very well. I think she's a great Kate Bishop. I knew she would be. Like seeing her in action is wonderful.
Totally.
I think it's cool. You know, G-Rex in the live studio audience says, gonna watch it. It won't be WandaVision. You know, nothing is.
No, of course.
Nothing is. And, you know, WandaVision, like, when that trailer came out, didn't appeal to everybody either because they're like, this looks like a weird old sitcom. What are they doing?
Which very much did appeal to me.
Yeah. And I think Marvel has a tendency to be able to do that where there's probably some depth to it that we're not seeing in that, you know? They want their big fun holiday trailer and, like, who knows what'll come out of it. I'm excited for it. I've wanted to see the Clint character represented more like he is in the comics since they first put him into the movies. And I'm glad that we're finally getting that to some extent. And I fucking love Kate Bishop. So I'm just excited for that, you know?
Yeah. Well, speaking of WandaVision, let's jump to that really quick.
Sure.
The Emmys happened. Nobody's watching award shows, right?
No.
Nobody?
No, you watch the recaps the next day.
Yeah. You reading
Which
the
is
recaps?
us.
It's us. Hi.
Hi, we're recapping.
We're here to tell you about the Emmys. There are award shows. Yeah, the Emmys happened on Saturday night. And one of the really interesting things that happened was that WandaVision won the first Emmy Marvel has gotten.
That's right. They won 2 Emmys for Outstanding Production Design for a narrative program and Outstanding Fantasy Sci-Fi Costumes. This is after collecting 23 nominations.
I'm surprised they didn't win in more categories.
You know, I don't think the Academy's ready to give it to Marvel.
Yeah.
And especially I don't think they're ready to give it to a superhero show. You know? You're not going to give WandaVision like outstanding performance in drama when
No.
you've got so many of these other like HBO series and
Right.
they're just not going to do it. But I think I think it's such an amazing show, and I'm glad it won something. I'm glad it was nominated for so much. Other highlights, we also got the note it was only the Creative Arts Emmys. It's still good. They were still nominated for a lot of stuff, y'all.
Yeah.
They had 23 nominations.
That's awesome. It's huge progress.
It's huge. It's huge.
And it is still an Emmy.
As somebody who has a daytime Emmy in his apartment, don't Emmy shame.
Emmy's an Emmy.
An Emmy's an Emmy, baby. You fucking won a thing. Nobody else won that thing. The Mandalorian also won 7 Emmys, which is great, and obviously was going to happen. Most of them were, of course, in technical.
Yeah.
Because obviously they built that frickin' volume dome, and they're shooting everything in this weird ass fucking holodeck. Of course the holodeck's gonna win Emmys.
Yeah, it's groundbreaking. And it's, of course, one of those things that it's like, I have a hard time with awards like that because it's like, yeah, they did the thing only Disney can afford to do. You won by having enough money to do a thing only you can do.
Yeah. But I mean, but it's also
It's impressive.
the thing about the volume is it's not a thing that only Disney could do. It's just a thing that they thought to do first.
That's true.
When you look at the volume, what is the volume? The volume is a big LED dome and Unreal 4. Anyone could have done it. They just fucking did it.
That's true.
They committed to it and they made it happen. And I love that. It's so wild.
We do love Mando in this house.
We do love Mando in that house, that house.
And it's also
our
cool, too,
house.
because now it's, what?
Everybody's house.
In the house.
At Mando in the house. You remember that 90s sitcom that everybody loved? And he'd come in and he'd be like, and Mando would come in and he'd be like, gotta see the baby.
But yeah, 7 is huge, and that's awesome. Very, very, very excited about that. God, I love WandaVision. It makes me so sad that WandaVision can't really continue.
Yeah, no. But the Disney
more
Plus,
than anything.
the Disney Plus series, they've done such a good job of like, oh, this is just an 8-hour movie. This is an 8-hour movie if you want to know what happens before the next movie.
Right.
And they've done such a great job of
They
it.
nailed it. They put a perfect bow on it. It ends in a really like understandable place for where we're heading. I have no complaints about how it ended. I just want more because it's so good.
And you never know what could happen, right? Like we have the White Vision running around out there. We have Wanda teaming up with Doctor Strange for Multiverse of Madness. Who knows what's gonna happen?
I'm so excited for Multiverse of Madness.
Like there could be a second season of WandaVision that's something totally different, right?
They could, yeah.
Or they could call it something totally different. Because you are right about like they can never go through that history of TV and use TV as the narrative again.
No.
But they could do something else with the characters.
They put a very solid button on it. Obviously, we don't want to give any spoilers, but
It's pretty good.
They could do something.
They could do something.
But I don't think they will. I'm going to say, that's my guess, is I don't think there will be another WandaVision series.
No.
But it also was this thing to be like, oh, y'all like these series? Okay.
Man, I can't believe how
Answer
much
is
these
yes.
Disney Plus series are crushing.
Yeah.
I mean, Disney really decided it's time for streaming.
Blade of Creation, the live studio audience said, we're what, like 2 decades away from Disney winning all awards at an award show because they keep buying things? Well, they also just keep making new shit, too.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's definitely, remember that anytime Fox wins something, Disney wins something. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we're thinking about the main Disney brands.
But yeah, we're closer to it than you think.
Yeah, it's more likely than you think.
And Jupiter in the live studio audience also said, I wonder if it'll get to the point that Marvel and Star Wars are competing against each other for Emmys. Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I think they already were in a couple of these categories.
Were they in a couple of these?
I believe so. I believe
would
in like
make
production
sense.
design and technical achievement. I think they were already.
That would make sense.
Listen, it's totally fine. Anybody who wins that's under that house, it's fine. That's a win for everybody in that giant conglomerate. Moving on to some other stuff, to some game news.
Let's do it.
We saw some Deadspace Remake dev footage. which looks really good. They showed off a little bit of the updated ship, but they did like a full 40-minute stream where they just went through and showed off some assets and what they've been working on. Here is how they work on the ship and what they're doing to make it look good in 4K, and I love this.
Oh yeah, the reflections of the light.
Just deciding where to put all the texture and everything. I love that they're giving this the full remake treatment.
If God, I can't tell you how many hours I would spend watching this if all games did this. If all games just were like, I'm just gonna sit here and I'm just gonna add a little texture, a little shiny light, and I'm gonna show you how I did it. Ooh.
So here they are showing off some more of the in progress stuff with friend of the show, Khalif. What's up, Khalif? Who of course has made some community content for Dead Space in the past, so they invited him on. But it's fun to watch how they're doing this. Look at this baby boy. Look at this sweet baby. And they got to figure out where he's gross and where he isn't gross.
Where he's the grossest.
Where to make the boy gross.
God, that's so cool. I'm telling you, I would just, gaming Bob Ross. I would just watch people do this.
You know, a lot of
I can't believe this isn't a category on Twitch.
I mean, a lot of indie and smaller devs do this all the time. They'll do like game dev streams the same way artists do like drawing streams. But getting something like this from a big AAA company, I don't think it will ever happen, unfortunately.
I also understand like it would hinder your work process to have a bunch of people watching you work.
Yeah.
I get it.
Having 100 people over your shoulder going, is that the way it's going to look? Are you really going to put it there?
But what if you just pre-record it?
Yeah.
And then you post it for me.
Just for me.
You just like shoot it to my email.
You can just like send me. You could put me on your Dropbox, guys.
And I could just watch the little recordings of it.
But it's fun to see this.
Make a game.
And it's, I mean, I'm so excited for the Dead Space remake. I'm so excited.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be really good, and I love that they're being. You know, people are obviously concerned and interested because with remakes like this, you know, sometimes remakes come through and you're like, how did this happen?
Yeah.
Or sometimes they come through and you go, oh, is this really a remake, or is this just sort of like, did you just upscale everything?
Yeah.
So it's kind of wonderful that they're going in and they're being like, that motive is going in and being like, no, we're going to show you. We're really putting a lot of work into this.
We're making the game.
So love that. Very excited for it. And speaking of all-time greatest horror games.
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about Luigi's Mansion.
The spookiest game of all.
Absolutely.
We are big Luigi's Mansion fans.
Oh, huge Luigi's Mansion's fans.
Fucking love Luigi's Mansion. And one of the things that a lot of people are familiar with, if you're a fan of Luigi's Mansion, is they toned down the amount of detail and also the kind of like weird spookiness of the art in the original Luigi's Mansion.
Yes.
As development continued. And for a long time, there has been a group that's trying to put together a Luigi's Mansion E3 2001 beta restoration.
Because the thing that they previewed at E3 in 2001 was, as we described, spookier, more detailed.
They didn't want it to be so... Nintendo was like, hey, less creepy.
Yeah, don't make it look like a horror game.
Less creepy. And of course, as we've gone to Luigi's Mansion, Dark Moon and 2 and 3 and like all that stuff, like... It's gotten cuter and cuter.
Yeah, I agree. It's gotten continually cartoonier.
Whereas like the first one was genuinely off-putting in some ways.
Nothing hits like the GameCube. Nothing hits like that woman crying into her vanity.
Yeah, like they put in some stuff that was like, hey kids, we're gonna give you a little nightmare.
Those ghosts were babies.
Mm-hmm. Dude, the screamy baby ghosts were so good.
Screamy baby ghost boss.
The perfect.
Twins. Fuck.
So this group has been trying to restore its original creepy vibe, and they've been working by hand. They've been looking at the trailer, then going back and like, making their own textures, trying to make their own models. And then something really weird happened. The new WarioWare came out. WarioWare Get It Together came out, and everybody looked at these assets because there is a Luigi's Mansion micro game in it. Mm-hmm. And they went, wait a minute. all I do is look at these assets.
Uh-huh.
These are the beta assets. And it turns out that the beta assets for Luigi's Mansion were inside of the new WarioWare, and they were able to pull those assets out for their remake.
Which is fabulous. We're so fucking into that. Also, the WarioWare game, it's fun.
It's fun.
It doesn't hit the Wii. It doesn't hit like the Wii did.
No. The Game Boy one, the original Game Boy one hit so hard because it was like, I'm on a Game Boy. It's in my pocket. I'm playing like 15-second games at a time. This is great. What a great idea. And then the Wii one really hit because it's like motion control, like flailing around.
To me, it was the best game on the Wii for me.
It was so good. Smooth Moves was great.
Smooth Moves was so good. And the new one, it's fun.
It's fun.
It's cute.
They're obviously the multiplayer is what they're pushing in the new one, and I think that's cool. But nothing's gonna hit like that first time you WarioWared.
You know what my complaint? We played it on Friday at Smosh, and the biggest complaint I have is there's no pass and play. The Wii was pass and play, and I understand that it like is supposed to be progress to be able to be like, no, everyone has their own controller, and that'll be fun. Part of the fun was the urgency of the pass and play of WarioWare Smooth Moves.
Yeah.
It was throwing the controller to somebody else so that they could get it on the floor and pick it up. Anyways,
it's kind of wild because one of the things that I love about this is it means that the team that made WarioWare loves the original version of Luigi's Mansion as much. And I wonder if any of the devs that were originally part of Luigi's Mansion are on WarioWare and wanted to just like give a shout out to that original work because it's very interesting. I love it. I think it's so cool. Portable Productions, who's one of the people that's working on the community mod, was like, yo, I just finished up new chairs using the WarioWare assets, and it seems like they're all upscaled massively. So not only did they use the original assets, but they upscaled them for WarioWare.
of course.
So that means like the textures are more usable for the community team. It's so cool. Like it's like look at that ugly
you
game.
can
I
see
love
how-
how spooky ugly that game is.
You can see how much more detailed the chairs are there.
That's going to save them a lot of time.
And then there is the chair.
Love it. This is such a cool thing. I love that they were able to find that.
Yeah, that's fucking tight.
Uh,
A lot of people saying it's definitely not an accident.
no, definitely not.
Yeah, I can't imagine that would be an accident. This was actually the one that was the most noticeable for me. It was the couch. It was like the biggest difference. This is the side-by-side comparison of what went to the game and what was previewed at E3.
Yeah. So that's fun because, a lot of these E3 previews, we've talked about this before, the vertical slice and the demos, some of them are running in engine, but they're not actually gameplay. Some of them are, pre-rendered basically. And so they were able to use these higher resolution textures in at E3 2001. And then by the time it got to the game, they were muddied up a little bit because the GameCube could only have so much bandwidth.
Right.
But speaking of reusing assets, Sage, this is a fun reuse of assets. Nobody's going to make any money off of it.
Oh, the
credit.
Luigi's Mansion one. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Credit is being given to the original devs. You got to install it yourself on your own copy of Luigi's Mansion. This is a mod, and
It's their art. Yeah.
it's respecting it, and it wants to pay homage to this.
restorative.
Yeah. Sometimes, though, the reuse of assets is not a very good thing.
No.
I want to talk about an NFT-based game called Epic Battle Heroes.
Fuck NFTs.
Epic Battle Heroes is a blockchain-based game on the Ethereum network. Wherein it was selling 10,000 NFTs where you get a randomly generated hero and a pet, and then you play this MMO to get more things that are NFTs, that are items, and then you can trade or sell those items. It's just another big fucking NFT scam. It's just they're just saying things.
Yeah.
Epic Battle Heroes, when you showed up to their site, you saw Luigi. You saw this art. Fun, right?
Wow, that's the game?
That's fun 2D pixel art. Great.
Wow, the game looks great.
Yeah. Except that's not the art from Epic Battle Heroes. That's actually stolen art from a game called Wildfire that's on Steam. An indie game.
Woof. Oh, that's rough.
That's real rough.
That's real rough.
That's incredibly rough. So the developer of Wildfire goes, okay, NFTs, you've made this personal now. So he called them out.
On Twitter.
Everybody, 54,000 likes, thousands of retweets, and everybody was like, hey, NFTs, get the fuck out of games. Because, hey, NFTs, get the fuck out of games. So Epic Battle Heroes removed the art and publicly responded. They said, hey, I wanted to tell you about the art that was used on the site. We got it from the web dev, but we didn't check it. That's our mistake. This will not happen again, honestly.
Was it honestly?
Well, it turns out that the game's Twitter profile pic was stolen from this artist's post. They used this for Epic Game Heroes. I made a simple background tile pattern. Please credit if you use. That's all she asked. They did not. And then this big piece of art announcing the game's roadmap for the future, that is stolen wholesale from Boki Boki. I'm currently working on a bigger piece, but I hope the nature alone is already something you guys show interest in. I am taking some big steps in my life right now, so look forward to some big announcements. This is the tweet of a struggling artist who is having a good day and is excited about the future.
And has 46 likes
And has
on
40
that lovely pixel art.
And they just fucking ripped it right off.
They took it. Oh, they just took it.
These are people who are trying to sell NFTs on the blockchain in their game. You know that they're hoping that every single one of these heroes sells for like $40,000 times 10,000. You couldn't give $100, and you're gonna pretend that just like the web developer did this.
Yep.
If you're making a game, and you're really making a game, and your site pops up and there's art in it, and you know it's not from your game.
Uh-huh.
Why wouldn't you immediately ask where the art is from? Video games are kind of a visual medium.
Right.
It's in the name.
And in response to the backlash, the well-deserved backlash they've received, instead of dealing with it, addressing it, offering anything to the artists, they just deleted their Twitter account.
They deleted their Twitter.
They were just like, nah, never mind.
They deleted their Twitter. That's it.
That's it. Hey, on
That
the
game
bright
is going to
side-
show up. That game is going to show up again in a month
You
with
think?
a different site and a different name and different stolen assets.
I would love it if they were just scared out of making the game.
Nope.
We don't need an NFT game. Blockchain is bullshit.
They're already NFT games. I get ads for them all the time.
You see, that's the thing, though, is I don't get the ads for it. Your target demographic.
They know I'm a white male.
Yeah.
They're like, you like NFTs?
Yeah.
And I'm like, They're like, are you sure?
Absolutely not.
What about weird workout gadgets? Nah. You're targeting me wrong, dog.
Fascinating.
What?
And that's what you get. NFTs and weird workout gadgets.
I also get other stuff, but I get fun pens and watches. For some reason, they think I want watches,
Yeah.
like expensive watches.
demographic.
I'm just getting dude stuff. I think because I have so much of my tracking stuff turned off, and like I have tracking stuff turned off at the network level at my house.
Yeah,
So
so
I
they're
think
just
they're
like,
just like,
you're
what?
about
Here's
that
what we
age.
know, dude.
About that time.
So this sucks, and these people will keep popping up because this is a scam.
Is a scam.
It's a scam.
Don't play NFT games.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. No blockchain games. Absolutely not.
Um,
Look, I don't ever want to say we should gatekeep games, but like maybe a little. Maybe we should gatekeep blockchain out of games.
what do we gatekeep in games? We gatekeep. We make sure that people aren't trying to scam you. We
Yeah.
make sure that people aren't trying to exclude people from games. We make sure that people aren't trying to, I don't know, just be toxic and terrible in games.
Right. Like
That we can
destroying
gatekeep.
the planet through online mediums.
Yeah, Geek Out says, yeah, is it gatekeeping or is it setting boundaries? Now you're playing with power.
Gatekeep, gaslight, girl boss the NFT creators.
Yeah. The only person where they like made money off NFTs where I'm just like, okay, was Beeple. When Beeple made a few $1 million off of NFTs after making art every day for, 10 years and just being like, it's Creative Commons and anybody could use it. Go ahead and use my art. And then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, you made $50 million. I was like, Beeple deserves money.
Yes.
I hate NFTs,
wish
but
people
Beeple
would just
deserves money.
pay for art.
Yeah, I wish Beeple could have gotten money another way. So, speaking more about money,
Oh, let's do it.
we want to talk. I mean, we're a business show.
We are.
I got my street MBA straight from the BQE.
I, of course, passed the bar in the state of Virginia.
So
I'm very qualified to talk about this.
extremely qualified. We want to talk about how the Epic versus Apple thing ended up.
Because we've been covering this for months now.
Yeah, and it's been wild. It's been wild to watch two. It's been wild to watch two rich kids screaming at each other in the cafeteria.
Yeah.
Really is what it's been interesting to watch. However, there were some big issues at play here. Of course, Epic was positioning itself as the defender of the independent developer and the people in this one, and unfortunately, they were sort of on the right side in this one.
Yes.
But-
What this is about is Apple's App Store fees taking 30% flat of every money that you make in a game. So all in-game transactions, subscriptions, etc.
Yeah, so there's no way. Listen, if you want to have an app on iOS, you have to be in the App Store. And if you want to sell add-ons to your app, Apple gets 30%. That's just the way it is. It's not cool. Sideloading an app is the hardest fucking thing in the world on iOS. It's not fun. So Epic's like, you know what, man?
We have the money to fight this.
Let's fight it. Let's fight this. And so that's basically what it came across, what it came down to. And basically at the end of this thing, the ruling is iOS app developers must be allowed to direct users towards payment options other than those presented by Apple. So what that means is if you want to buy V-Bucks in Fortnite, they can put a link in the Fortnite app that takes you to the Fortnite site, which then allows you to buy your V-Bucks directly from Epic without giving 30% to Apple. Now that goes to all apps.
Yeah.
And this is going to be a huge thing because, the trend right now for a lot of apps on iOS is the app is free,
Right.
but you pay for add-ons and subscriptions, right? Have our app for free. But if you want like all the functionality, give us $5.
Right.
And when you give them that $5, $1.50 goes to Apple. But now they can have that whole $5. That's going to cause, it doesn't sound like a ton, but it's huge. It's huge. So it's going to be it's $19 billion a year that Apple makes on the App Store.
Whew.
And the majority of that $19 billion is on add-ons.
Yeah. On in-app purchases.
That is a huge, huge amount of money. Now, this is just for the U.S., but other countries are already jumping on board with this. That's already South Korea said that the same thing has to happen.
Okay.
Other countries are coming out and doing the same thing where it's like, hey, you have to give people an alternative.
Right. However, Apple thinks they won this. There's more to this as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Apple is calling it their victory because they also, in that, the court affirmed that what we have known all along, the App Store is not in violation of antitrust law. As the court recognized the success is not illegal, Apple faces rigorous competition in every segment in which we do business. We believe that customers and developers choose us because our products and our services are the best in the world.
This sucks.
This sucks.
This sucks because, of course, they have a monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they have a monopoly. There's no way to get an app onto an iPhone without going through the App Store or doing some side-loading thing that is sure to break in a week.
Right.
Of course, it's a monopoly.
Absolutely. Without question.
But our fucking late capitalist judicial system is stuck in a place where it's like, but you could buy another phone. Sure, I could buy another phone. I've bought iPhones for decades. What happens to all of those apps that I bought on the iPhone when I go to Android?
It feels like saying, you don't have to have a car.
You don't have to have a car in LA.
You don't have to have a car.
You don't have to have a car.
It makes things out unreasonably difficult. You know, our public transit system is actually not there to support you if you don't.
Yeah.
Our public transit system is not built up to get you around where you need to go.
It's going to take you 3 hours to get to a place that would take you a 15-minute drive to get to
Right.
work, but you can do it.
You can.
You can do it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Magus Unit didn't wait for our whole metaphor. Yike.
Yep. And in addition to that, not everywhere else in the U.S.
Yeah,
Not everywhere else.
look.
The U.S. is not terribly far forward on public transit.
Right.
system.
Ronan Monkey brings up some ones that I think are incredibly relevant. You don't need internet. You don't need a cell phone. You don't need free water or electricity to live.
Right. But
right? But like you do, and when I want to get electricity in my building, there's only one place I can get it for.
Right.
I can get it from. There are two places. Thankfully, I live in a building where there were two choices for internet. But wow, I'm spoiled for choice.
Yeah, I only got one.
Two choices?
Yeah, I only got one.
That's amazing.
The court also ruled that the alternative payment system Epic had already implemented inside of Fortnite was a breach of their contract with Apple, and Epic will have to pay 30% of the revenue collected since, around $3.5 million back to Apple.
So this is wild. This is like you can get weed from a drive-through in LA now, but there are still people in jail for selling a dime bag 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Even though the court was like, oh yeah, what Apple was doing is totally wrong, and they have 90 days to make sure that you can put your own payment system in. But did you have your own payment system in before?
Because what they were doing is
better give
exactly
them the
what
money.
is now ruled to be okay.
Yeah.
But it is in breach of their previous contract with Apple. So the court said, well, you told them you'd give it to them and you didn't.
It was in the contract, and even though that contract has 90 days to get cleaned up and is no longer binding, it was binding at the time.
Which sucks.
Which, like, look, that's $13.5 million for Epic.
This is 3.5.
Or 3.5?
3.5 million.
3.5? Tim Sweeney reached into his fucking, not even his real wallet. He reached into his change purse. Are you kidding me? 3.5 to get what they got, to bring this thing to court the way they did, and to win even this first step that they won.
Yeah.
3.5. He just opened up his tiny granny change purse.
Right.
And he was like, 3.5? I only have 5. I don't have any less than 5. And then everybody went, how do you not have less than 5? There's no such thing as a $5 million coin. And Tim Sweeney's like, that you know of, you
For
fucking
you.
poor. You fucking poor. Here you go. He paid in NFTs. He gave a non-fungible token for it.
Ugh. I hate that word.
Fungible.
It's the worst.
It's
word.
gross.
It's an ick word. For
It
me.
sounds gross.
Tim Sweeney with it tweeted, today's ruling isn't to win for developers or for consumers. Epic is fighting a fair competition among in-app payment methods and app stores for 1 billion consumers.
Look, you should be able to buy whatever phone, load whatever app
Yep.
from whatever place
Yep.
you want to. Now, of course, we all know that's true. But we also know that every single platform holder has their money in being a platform holder right now.
Right.
And it's going to take years for this to break down. Years, because there is so much money and interest behind not letting it break down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you fucking imagine? Can you imagine buying whatever phone you want and putting whatever app you want, like,
Can't.
from anywhere? Like, Apple would just implode.
Yeah.
They
Apple
would
never allow it.
just implode.
So it's interesting to see how this will go. Obviously, we also had this conversation around the last person who was trying to kind of avert this conversation, which was, this ruling, which was Roblox.
Mm-hmm.
Roblox, of course, transitioned to no longer being a game and being an experience.
Oh, the one thing that I love is there was an excerpt of the transcript where you had Tim Sweeney and somebody from Apple and somebody from Roblox being asked by the judge what a game is.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit, if you can find this chunk of it made my brain hurt.
If you do find it, drop it in the Discord so the other BBs can read it.
Because Apple kept trying to say, like, well, a game is any experience with a beginning, middle, and they're just like, the judge
That's
was
a
like,
video.
no, that's anything.
Yeah, that could be anything.
And so, like, what's a game? Well, a game, and they were all trying to make, well, we're not a game. Well, we are games. And getting them to try to explain it.
It's like putting
'Cause-
a bunch of people in the room for a brainstorm session when you're like there for a writing session. You're like, what is our brand really about?
In the back of their heads, they're all like, we're setting legal precedent. We're setting legal precedent. How do we make this work for us? Fuck you, define a game.
God. But
What a
hey,
nightmare.
Speaking of Apple, let's talk more about iPhones.
Let's talk more about iPhones. Look, tomorrow.
The tomorrow. The one and only.
The tomorrow is the big Apple day for the year. Can I just say, it's extremely rude of all of these things to be taking spotlight away from me on my birthday.
It's unacceptable.
It's
truly.
unacceptable. Apple.
You need
you
to
could-
share a day with Apple.
You could have done it any day.
And yet.
And yet, tomorrow you had to do. Okay.
So everyone do remember, you don't need to watch the Apple showcase, but you should wish Anthony a happy birthday tomorrow.
At the very least.
At the very least.
Tomorrow's the big day. And we have some rumors about the new stuff. We've got rumors about the Apple Watch 7, obviously faster processor, new hardware design, larger screen, new watch faces. I don't know. Can we get excited about the watch anymore? I can't really.
I never did the watch.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed something I've seen is people using it now that I'm like back in an office. People using it on set looks convenient.
Yeah.
That's nice. It was the first time I've ever been like, I could see that. But I don't wear watches in general. I think it would annoy me. So I've never taken an interest in an Apple Watch.
It's good if you're like doing a lot of fitness stuff. I
Yeah.
think it's really wonderful. But like, other than that, it's nice. There are a couple things that it's nice for. Number one, fitness stuff. Number two, if you're wearing a mask but you have your phone and your watch, it'll unlock your phone while you're wearing a mask.
Okay. That's nice.
But that's a temporary thing, hopefully.
Here's hoping.
So it's kind of nice. I have the 3, and I don't feel like I need a new Apple Watch. And actually, when I go out to a place where I want to dress up and I wear a watch, I actually don't wear the Apple Watch because it's the same rubber gadget everybody else has on.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'd rather wear like a $20 watch that looks cooler.
Yeah.
You know?
It's not necessarily a fashionable watch. Alonzo in the live studio audience said, does the watch need a faster processor? Like actually asking. Now you have an Apple Watch.
They tell me that my processor isn't fast enough for some of the fun watch faces. And I don't know if I believe it, but no, I think probably not. Not unless there is some absolutely mind-blowing new use case for the watch that they've come up with this year that requires it.
Yeah.
It has enough to take my pulse and look at text messages and control Spotify.
Okay.
You know, like what else does it need to do?
Right. Obviously, we're also looking to the iPhone 13.
iPhone 13, a big deal, big time, big fun, big phone for everyone. Everyone excited about new iPhone. This might be the first one to have a terabyte of storage on board.
Big if true. Literally.
Genshin Impact's going to look real good on it, I can tell you that.
There you go. Sit down with your backbone.
Sit down with your Backbone 1 and play some Genshin Impact. I can only play on, you know, on the lower. I've got an iPhone 11 Pro, and I can only play it on some of like the lower settings before my screen like dims from the phone being too hot.
Interesting.
So it'd be nice. It'd be nice to have a game.
The Verge has an investor report, an analyst going over an investor report named Ming-Chi Kuo that said iPhone 13 Pro, iPhone 13 Pro Max to each have 1 terabyte storage options. They also said that the iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 Mini will have storage configurations starting at 128 and eliminating the 64 gigabyte option.
Which is great because Apple's been like, come on, 64 gigs of storage? That's rude. It's rude to start at 64 gigs of storage these days.
Yeah, you can't use that.
You can't use that.
I'm sure there are lots of people that are, but it is highly
It's
impractical. And hopefully they
rude to
can
make them.
But then, in theory, they can make the 128 gigs more accessible financially, hopefully.
Yeah.
For the people that were getting 64 from a price
That's
perspective.
it should be the new low point.
Yes.
And so the other thing that I'm excited about with this is I didn't think there would be another mini. The 12 mini apparently sold horribly.
Really?
And you know I love a small phone.
I love a big phone.
And I was really hoping that the 13 would have a mini. The only problem is if you get the little phone, you don't get all the fun camera.
Yep.
It's tough.
And we don't know if this will be the case. This is obviously just an analyst making, you know, their assumptions about what will happen. Or
Though
their
Ming-Chi Kuo has been around for a few years and tends to be pretty on point.
Yes.
It's more than they miss.
We do not have the actual information yet.
Yeah.
This is just
Yeah, of
what
course.
we think is going to happen.
Of course. New phones are supposed to have improved cameras, video portrait mode. That's kind of nice.
That's awesome.
That's kind of nice. Those nice blurry backgrounds and simulated depth of field for video. That'd be so nice.
That'd be awesome.
Astrophotography mode. That's pretty cool for some people.
Like just something that you can take take the pictures of the stars.
Yeah. Taking pictures of the stores ain't easy.
Take little pictures of the stars.
Yeah.
Huh.
It ain't easy to take pictures of the stores.
That's pretty cool.
And then improved ultra wide lens and a better optical zoom for video recording, which is also good.
That's great. He did warn that the iPhone 13 could, of course, be affected by the supply chain shortages that we've been seeing, the things that are affecting your ability to get a graphics card. But expects that there will be limited impact on that.
And then, of course, the final thing to get a big design is going to be the iPad Mini, which now, I mean, a lot of people are saying the iPad Mini is the way to go if you're going to get an iPad these days over the Pro. A lot of people were like, yeah, the Pro's cool, but actually for 90% of what you need to do, now that everything's an M1 or like an A14, like...
I don't need it, but I want it for some reason.
I'll tell you what, I do still use my iPad when I'm around at home. iPad's great for...
Which one do you have? Do you know?
I have the Pro from 2017.
Okay.
So I've got an old Pro, but
Mine's old.
I use it for reading comics. And sometimes I'll use it for like, I'll be watching a video while I'm working on like the spreadsheet for here, and like the multitasking on it's pretty good. And
Right.
and then I can use it as a drawing tablet too, which I do every once in a while. So it's fun. It's good. I don't see the need, but it's another thing that's like the watch. Once you have an iPad, until the iPad stops working, you have a fucking iPad.
That's the thing is, I have an iPad from like 2015, maybe.
Yeah, I think unless you're really one of those people that is you like to be kind of bleeding edge and you want to be pushing this like one device thing forward. It's like getting a folding phone right now. Like if you're getting a folding phone right now, it's because you're interested in the future of folding phones. If you want an iPad right now as like your big device, it's because you really want that to be the future.
Yeah, or I mean, I would say for artists, I'm sure that there are benefits for people who are digital artists
Yeah.
because that's such a like industry standard thing right now.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the other thing is like if you want like a 2-in-1 laptop that also has like a pen, you can't get that from Apple right now.
No.
Whereas like I sometimes forget that this has a drawing tablet built into it.
Yeah, I always forget that thing's a touchscreen.
Yeah, it always like most Windows laptops have touchscreens and the ability to use a digitizer, but you don't get that on everything from Apple. I will say for a while, the iPad became like an incredibly fast and easy way to edit video.
Yeah, you were real into that. I feel like that was pretty recent.
It was pretty recent. Like when we were doing some of the Patreon clips, like back when we were doing Saige watching The Fast and the Furious, I was just shooting those on my phone and editing them in LumaFusion. And LumaFusion's like even better now. I mean, it's cool, but like for the money, if you're looking at an iPad Pro versus a laptop, get yourself a fucking laptop. You know, if you don't have one.
Yeah.
Get a laptop. But if you can get an iPad mini, that's pretty nice because those are pretty inexpensive. They say it could have the new mini LED display, which is a beautiful display.
Yeah.
And you know, it could have the good processor in it. We like the good processor.
We'd love to see that. So that's all things to look forward to anytime after tomorrow. After Anthony's birthday.
After my birthday, you can check out the recaps. We'll do a recap on Wednesday, and that's when you can know about all the new Apple stuff.
Yes.
You're not allowed to know about anything tomorrow. At all.
Sorry.
Ever tomorrow. So Google Stadia.
You know him. You love him.
You love them.
You're playing your Google Stadia, right?
We're all playing games on our Google Stadia, you know? Right? Like we're just streaming the Google Stadia. It's doing really well.
Of course.
I just mailed a couple Google Stadias off to some, well, they're not unsuspecting, but it's
Babies who deserve better.
yeah, you know, it follows.
Yeah.
Now they have a Stadia, and
Yeah.
it's their problem.
Right.
I used to have the Stadias, and now they have the Stadias, and they have to deal with it.
Congratulations.
But Google Stadia has not been having a good ever. Hasn't had a good time ever.
Honestly relatable.
And there's this really weird headline. Like, this is clearly somebody reworking an internal Google, like, press release about this. Because I love this headline. The headline is Google Cloud zeroes in on gaming and taps Stadia exec Jack Busser to lead the way. Google Cloud is a competing business unit within Google. Google Cloud is the Google platform that they want to make available to anybody to build their own streaming games. Okay? That it essentially means this is like the Amazon Web Services of streaming games. So like you're supposed to be able to put your games on to the Google Cloud
Right.
without it being like a Stadia game or Stadia. So they need somebody to run this Google Cloud. You know, and obviously like Google Cloud does a lot more than that, but we're talking about Google Cloud for games. Pineapple Hour, type in exclamation point backseat and see what happens. It's a fun trick.
I got it. Don't worry. I got it for you.
So basically, they wanted somebody to head up the gaming portion of this. And they're like, do we know anybody? And Jack Busser, who is the head of developer relations at Stadia, was like, oh, I can do it. And they're like, great, come on over.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Lee Green Griffin in the live studio audience said Google taps Google exec to lead Google department.
Right, but like here's
Google
the
taps Google exec to lead Google division.
But here's the fucking thing. That just left Stadia without their fucking head of developer relationships.
Yeah, 100%.
They were just like, no,
They
that's
said,
not important.
Come on over, bud.
That's not important. You go, no, we don't need you over there.
It'll be fine over here.
You come over here to the one that's gonna work.
Do we think that this is the actual thing to say that they are just gonna finally put Google Stadia out of its misery? Or do you think they'll hire someone else for that position? Do you think they will put another executive in that position?
Somebody is going to get promoted for all the good it's gonna do.
Yeah.
And all the time that position will last. You know? But fuck, man. That's really fun. When people are not jumping ship, but just jumping to other parts of the ship.
Yeah, dude. It's
like
bananas.
That's wild.
Fucking wild. It's hilarious. It's so funny. This is such a this is a thing that would only happen to Google Stadia. You know?
So, I mean, we all love Google Stadia and it's doing really well.
Congrats to Google Stadia on your new open position. May you find an excellent executive to lead all of your success.
But I mean, now what this is Google Stadia is just the demo that they use to show developers how well Google Cloud works for games. Mm-hmm. That's all it is now. Mm-hmm. Everybody who's on Stadia, who's paying the $10 a month or whatever it is for Stadia Pro,
bold move.
Really bold move at this time in world history. It's just them showing a demo to game services and being like, your games could be online like this and they could work this well.
Because it does actually play yours.
Because it does work well. That's what's crazy.
Harry said, "Okay, Google, place Sarah McLachlan in the arms of an angel."
Yeah, right? Fuck. Other things going on.
Plenty of other things going on. I mean, hard to beat the top tiers of Google Stadia news, but let's talk about games for a little bit, shall we?
Sure. Because when you talk about Google Stadia, you're not really talking about games.
Correct. No, now we're transitioning to talking about games. Good, I made someone's Google go off. Their little, what did I say?
Okay, Google.
Yeah. Give him one more.
Oh. Okay, Google, look up sexual health clinics in my neighborhood.
Great.
That's in your search history now.
Congratulations. Set off my entire house. Okay, anyways, let's actually talk about real games, shall we?
Oh shit.
Let's talk about real games. Let's talk about the game that is featured in every showcase forever for the rest of our lives. It's Grand Theft Auto 5. There was a very confusing headlines recently about Grand Theft Auto 5. There was an article by IGN.
Yeah.
That said people don't want to hear about Grand Theft Auto 5 anymore.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's true.
We say that all the time.
We say it. All of these game shows and showcases always have a Grand Theft Auto 5 section. Mm-hmm. And what IGN was doing was they're highlighting all the people who are just like, there's no way Rockstar released another trailer of GTA 5.
Let the game rest.
Let the game
rest. And that's kind of what we said when we talked about the PlayStation showcase.
So hyped for this game. Now available on people are having fun with it.
People are memeing on GTA 5 because we get to a showcase to see what's new, and they're like, Grand Theft Auto 5, and we're like, no, we said new.
The GTA 5 online remastered trailer from the PlayStation showcase has 32,000 dislikes compared to 15,000 likes as of the writing of this article.
I mean, it's a game that's been out since 2013 that is still being featured in all of the big console showcases that have happened.
But here's the thing. People are saying that they're tired of GTA 5, but we decided to look into that a little bit because
they're still playing it.
That's the thing. So if you go to Steam charts right now
mm-hmm.
and take a look at GTA 5, let's take a look at the 7-day numbers. As of 8 minutes ago, there were 102,110 people playing on Steam.
At 9 a.m.
The 24-hour peak is 115,000 people. If you look at the 1 year trends, we went a little beep boop up here on the 19th, which brought us up to a huge level. It was up at like 218,000, and it's still not down to where it was a couple years ago. And that's just Steam.
That's just Steam. That's not factoring in all of the console players, which is really interesting. Another example of that is going to Twitch, of course. When you look at Twitch right here, it is currently the 4th highest category on all of Twitch. It has 194,000 people watching GTA right now. It is consistently in the top 5. I mean, maybe it's dropped down to top 10, but it's been consistently up there the entire time I've been on Twitch.
Yeah. If you look over here at activeplayer.io, which tries to track as many of the other platforms, including consoles, that it can, it's not the most accurate, but it gives a good idea. 113,000 people on other platforms. So what we're seeing this sort of like, not influencer, but core community, vocal community, kind of core gaming community is tired.
Yeah.
Core gaming community is tired does not mean anything. Core gaming community, I'm always tired.
Yeah, right?
That's my fucking secret, Cap.
Yes.
So, like, what we're forgetting is GTA Online is still printing the money. People love doing that shit.
They really do. It's a massive community. And it's like, we talk about it every time we cover it in one of the showcases. We say we're sick of seeing it, but we also acknowledge that it prints money.
Look, there are other things that I'm sick of seeing. I don't like seeing a Call of Duty. Does that mean Call of Duty? And like, Call of Duty trailers always get backlash. They are some of the most disliked, most vocally yelled at trailers every single time. But we cannot deny that when Call of Duty comes out, it's one of the fucking biggest things in the world.
Yeah.
There are a billion people in the world playing games that don't check out game news and game showcases, and they love this shit.
Yeah.
So, is there a GTA 6 on the way? No! No!
They don't have to.
Why would they?
Absolutely not.
It print the money.
Yes.
Make as much money as you can before you release something new.
Yeah. Not until it loses some steam. It would have to drop out of the top 10. It would have to drop out of the top 10.
Oh, for sure. And it would have to drop out of the top 10 for an extended period of time.
Right.
And it would have to drop out of the top 10 for an extended period of time in a way where they couldn't add some new little like asset or tiny mode or new area or something that wouldn't goose it back up. It's gonna be a while. And here's the thing, like, you know, you can say like capitalism and stuff because we're saying it's printing money. But what that really means is like people still enjoy it enough to spend their day and their money and their time on it.
Yeah.
It's a good game. We're just tired of it.
I wonder if this isn't something that, I mean, it has to be something that all game devs, specifically AAA game devs, are striving for, is to create something that they don't have to make another game for that long. Is to create the game that, in the way that they're like, oh, we don't want you to have to buy another console. You know?
Yeah.
We want this Xbox to be something you just kind of keep upgrading and keep playing. That's going to be it.
Yeah. I think, look.
GTA is kind of that.
I think there is a team tinkering with GTA 6.
Yeah.
But I think unlike previous generations and previous entries in the series, they have time and space and so much less pressure to work on GTA 6 than they've ever had. So one would hope that they're really messing around with like some new tech.
Yeah.
They're really messing around with some new engine stuff.
Right.
You know, and at the same time, like Red Dead Online didn't take off as much as they had wanted. They tried to use that GTA 5 blueprint, which means we'll probably see more Red Dead stuff. Maybe I would hope that we would see the resurrection of another franchise, maybe, to bide the time. Could be interesting.
It could be very interesting. I could see GTA trying to be something like World of Warcraft, where it's like you're not waiting for new World of Warcraft, you're waiting on expansions.
Oof.
treating GTA like an MMO, because that's what it is now.
Yeah. I could see it. I mean, once you build a city that feels vibrant enough and alive enough and active enough, and you have enough like new stuff going on in it, yeah, for sure. But as somebody who's like, you couldn't get me on GTA Online. I mean, you could. If a friend asked me like, "Hey, will you jump on GTA Online?" I mean, like, yeah, you could.
Which means it's like actually not that hard.
It's actually not that hard, but
No, it's
like,
pretty easy.
am I gonna have a great time? Is it gonna be my game of choice? No.
You probably have a good time.
I'm more interested in the campaign of it.
Okay.
But you could add a campaign to an expansion.
Absolutely.
You could add new characters. I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting. But anyway, it's going to be a while before we see anything new on the GTA front that isn't GTA 5.
Yes.
Talking about those new consoles
Ooh.
and upgrading them and et cetera,
Let's do it.
you know, one of the things that people said after the PS5 showcase last week was, sure, but when the fuck can I get a PS5?
Cool. I don't have one.
StockX, which has been making a play. I think of StockX, of course, as the place where you go to get sneakers after you inevitably lose
Yeah.
in the sneaker raffle. I have deleted StockX. I got dangerously into sneakers like 3 years ago.
Most things that Anthony gets interested in, he gets a little dangerously interested in.
I'm a little dangerous. Do you like that? StockX is now for scalping everything and anything.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
But one of the things that people are selling is, of course, consoles.
Consoles, baby.
Now, this sucks, but they're doing something interesting and releasing their data.
Yes.
And what they're saying is that scalpers are getting 30% less than they used to for PS5s, but the Series X prices are holding firm.
More people are, I mean,
Now, there are a couple things that there are a couple things that you could infer from that. But what StockX is saying is that it's because they have noticed that the PS5 is more consistently restocked in retailers.
yeah.
It's easier to get a PS5 than it is to get an Xbox.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I have the PS5. I have not been able to get an Xbox.
It's tough. It's tough. But you know,
I would like one.
Phil doesn't want you to get an Xbox. Phil wants you to join Game Pass.
I want both.
I know.
I'll do it. I'll still join Game Pass.
Still, Phil, what do you want from me, Phil?
Just also give me the box.
Phil, you look so nice in your t-shirt and blazer.
Please just
Phil?
let me have that.
Can I have Phil? Your angular and sharp dad haircut looks nice today.
Can I have an Xbox?
Can I have an Xbox? So, I mean, but plug in your PS5. If you plug in your PS5, you can think about having an Xbox.
Yeah, I'm my dad.
What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with the Xbox?
I've always been an Xbox player. I'm not a PlayStation person. I'm going to play my PlayStation because I like the exclusives on PlayStation, but I like Xbox. I have always enjoyed Xbox more as a controller. I use the Xbox more if I'm like, hey, I'm going to set it up at my TV and my Xbox is how I get to Netflix and shit like that. Xbox is generally my like home console.
Right.
PS5 is for the exclusives.
For those exclusives.
It's for those, the exclusives?
It's for the exclusives.
It's for the exclusives.
I get it. Have you plugged it in to play those exclusives, though?
I moved and I can't find one of the power cable.
It's a standard power cable.
I haven't unpacked any of my consoles. Everything's still in boxes.
Saige.
At the end of the move, I stopped labeling things because the movers were there.
Right.
Like you do at a move.
Like you do in a
And
move.
the last things I packed up were my consoles. So everything's in a couple of different boxes all spread out.
Oh, Saige.
I tried to plug in my PS5 a couple nights ago.
Well, number one, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And
I
we're
went
gonna,
to do it, and then it was too difficult, so I gave up.
We're gonna support you on that. We're gonna give you positive reinforcement for that because you tried. After months, you tried to plug in that PS5. You should unpack.
I know. I'm getting a little Superman curl like you do.
It's cool. The kids love it. It makes you look a little dangerous. Speaking of, I don't know. I don't have a segue. This is just lame. Can I be honest? This is just lame. The EA Sports games have, over the last few years, become the most brazenly ad-filled, product placement-filled, fucking corporate partnership-filled, fucking micropayment garbage that we have ever seen. I don't think anybody denies that.
We're not surprised. It's EA.
EA Sports, particularly the NBA games. You remember NBA 2K21 was a nightmare of technical issues, micropayments, and in-game advertising. You remember how they were trying to put interstitial advertising, like literal commercials on your load screens? Yeah. It's fucking wild.
Well, I don't even want to say it. I just want to show them what we have here. I've got it pulled up.
Okay.
Or do you want audio?
Yeah, we want audio.
Okay.
We definitely want audio. I want to show this very cool thing that's part of NBA 2K22.
Hey, neighbor. Are you? Jake from State Farm. Oh, you hang out here, bro? Yeah, hey, right next to the course in your neighborhood.
Hey, that's dope, fam.
Hey, speaking of being a good neighbor, I'd like to welcome you to the city. Very excited to have the great MP as my newest neighbor.
Hey, look, I appreciate that, man. I didn't realize you was a fan, homie.
Oh, hey, we're all rooting for you, MP.
It's good to know.
Yeah. Hey, as a show of my support, I'd like to offer you my official look. Can't join Team State Farm without the drip, right?
Hey, look, I guess not, bro.
Hey,
It's just part of the story.
I'll be seeing you
This is
around,
part of
MP.
the
Let
story.
me know
This is
if you
part
need
of the
anything.
city,
Remember,
which
like
is
a
an
good neighbor,
open world neighborhood that you can go into.
Hey, look, I appreciate this. Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, hey, listen, pleasure's all mine. Keep doing your thing.
And one of the places you can go to is literally a place called Neighbor Goods, which is just a State Farm store where Jake from State Farm gives you a State Farm shirt and hat that your character can wear in game.
Why would you? Why would you do that?
Now listen, if I'm the guy who plays Jake from State Farm, I am fucking stoked that I am officially a character in NBA 2K22. I love that for me. I love that for my bank account. I love that for everything that's going on. Shout out to whoever plays Jake from State Farm. That being said, I just want
Why would you play basketball in that?
I just want that. Number one, they felt that NBA 2K22, they felt that what people wanted from NBA 2K22, what they were missing, was an open world neighborhood to go shopping in for microtransactions. When what we said was, stop making the player teeth pop out of their faces.
Does anyone remember in Neopets how there used to be a circle in the center of the map that you could go to like a real life McDonald's and a Disney theater? Mm-hmm. This is that.
This is that.
This is that.
This
is like the beginning of worlds.com, how it was just all ads.
This is gross as hell. This is gross. The Kotaku article that I saw this in says it ends with, according to my sources, it does also include basketball this year too. They think.
But that hasn't really been mentioned, so it's fine.
Fucking wild. That is brazen. And here's the thing. We know that the creation of this city, this open world city, is specifically so they can put that stuff in the game in a way that won't interrupt the actual basketball. Because they know that half the people that play NBA 2K22 are never going to leave the actual fucking basketball mode to go out into the city. So in that way, it's kind of clever. Because hopefully it helps them offload the amount of product placement that's in every fucking screen of NBA 2K. But I bet it doesn't.
Now, my suspicion is that it's an addition. I definitely think it's an addition.
I think they were like, we crammed all the ads in. Where do we put more ads?
We've run out of room for ads. We're going to have to build a whole new part of the game just for ads.
This is fucking wild.
This is your reminder that It's Too Early has plenty of room for ads.
This is also your reminder that back back 20 years ago, Sega Sports tried to take on EA, tried to make competition, and EA was like, well, we'll just go to the leagues and give them $1 bazillion so nobody else can ever make a sports game again. And that's why we're in the position we're in right now. Just a reminder. Wow. Fucking EA. Other things going on.
Time for like one more thing, but I want to go to something specific from that. Let's talk about Alan Wake.
Yes.
Because we're talking about product placement. And the two are inseparable.
Look, I love Alan Wake, but there is no secret that in order to fund the finishing of the development of Alan Wake, Remedy had to take some money from Verizon and Energizer.
It wasn't subtle.
It wasn't subtle. The batteries. Is there a screenshot of the batteries in that article?
No.
Hold on. There was...
I got it. I'll find it.
Yeah. You had to have batteries for your flashlight, right? Because you got to keep the darkness away. Mm-hmm. And your flashlight would run out of batteries. The packages of Energizer batteries were so huge.
Oh.
Were so huge. Those are AA batteries that are the size of a man's head. Because you had to get that Energizer logo in there. So yes, Alan Wake had a lot of product placement.
We've got, of course, the Alan Wake remake coming, the remastered. Do we get higher quality Energizer ads? Do we get a bigger Verizon billboard?
Yeah.
Updated now to advertise 5EFG?
5G No, actually, they've been asked, and they've said Alan Wake Remastered will actually remove all of the product placement. Those deals are no longer in place. Mm-hmm. No more D-cell batteries that are the size of a human fist.
Right.
No more Verizon ads that are just a Verizon logo, which was also the weirdest thing because they didn't. Here's the thing. They didn't mix and match and work in the world because it wasn't like a real Verizon billboard where it would have a picture of a phone and then a little Verizon logo and like come see. It was just a Verizon logo.
They were also sponsored by Lincoln.
Oh, yeah. Everybody drove a Lincoln in Bright Falls. Nobody drove anything but Lincolns in Bright Falls. I wonder if, like, now they said that they're taking out the Lincoln advertising, but I wonder if it's all going to be just, like, clearly Lincoln cars without Lincoln logos on them. You know what I mean? Like, they're not going to change the entire car model, are they?
No.
Oh my God, who just said that? Yeah, Scott Davis 136 said, now it's just Kirkland batteries. I would love to see Kirkland product placement, Kirkland signature and everything.
Well, so here's my question is, do you think that when they were talking about doing the remaster, they like shot an email to Verizon and were just like,
oh, do you want to re-up?
Yeah.
Like you can on your Verizon plan?
Yeah.
Where you can re-up your minutes for just a low price every month?
We're not sponsored.
Jake from State Farm!
I do wonder if they like sent out an email. It was like a group chat between Verizon, Lincoln, and Energizer and like the devs of Alan Wake. And they were just like, hey, we wanted you to know first, we are remaking the game. Were you trying to get in on that or?
I think.
No. Okay. No.
We didn't even like if you wanted to, but if you don't, like, I understand.
We just felt like it would be polite to tell you before we just went ahead.
Knowing Remedy, I think it was the exact opposite.
Yeah,
I think their legal team wrote to these brands and were like, hey, just so you know, we don't have to do this.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's actually what happened, but it's a funny visual.
It is a funny visual. Like, I think at most companies, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, hey, would you want to do that again? Because I've got Duracell on the other line.
Second phone.
The other line is always a second phone. They're doing business. They have 5 phones.
We should get some phones. Wait.
We should get some phones. We should absolutely get some phones. While Saige is, I guess, off running and getting phones.
Hello, Duracell?
Hey, fucking worth it. Hell yeah.
We have a phone now.
We have a phone now. Call us. Is that how phones work? We just tell people to call us?
Yeah. We don't say the number. Guess.
Guess it. Start at 111-1111 and see what happens.
Yep.
I guess that's it for today.
That is it for today. It's already 9:30. We had so many other things to get to, but we didn't because we ran out of time.
We didn't.
Because we had fun talking with you.
Yeah. Such a good time.
Thank you for starting your morning with us. As always, we appreciate you supporting us. Hey, it's real early. Thanks for getting up early and spending the little start of the day with us. Of course, we do this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, so we will be back on Wednesday. Do not forget, tomorrow is not the Apple Showcase. It is Anthony's birthday. Mm-hmm. So do remember to go and show a little bit of love and support.
Yeah, I'll probably stream a little bit tomorrow for my birthday. Yeah.
All right. So you're all going to go watch Anthony's birthday stream then.
I'm going to go watch my birthday stream, twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni. We want to thank everybody because we saw a lot of support coming in throughout this show, and we really
sure
appreciate it.
My goodness.
So we want to do a little roll call here. Number one, Jav Binks, thank you for the bit. LogVN, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Blue Pirate with the host. Blue Noses 2019 giving out 5 gift subs. We appreciate that. H. Acosta 7192 with the 7-month resub.
Thank you for supporting us for 7 months.
Frozen Apple 214, Kurt of Cambridge, thank you for the follows. Harry Horror Show, giving those gift subs. Watch Harry on this channel every Sunday night on One Time on the Internet, and also go watch Harry on his channel. Anonymous gifting a sub to Death and Saints. We got Gold Bear 28, Pug Overlord, Bravo Games, Batraws X, Harold Hornet, and Shim Sham Flim Flam. Thank you so much for the follow. Dweeb Lols, thank you for the gift sub. Slurpy Buns, thank you for the follow. Tian Mar with 100 bits. Kalen Roar with 5 gift subs, thank you very much. Stamp 1646 resubbing for 5 months. Trips into the channel, not spilling matcha lavender tea. That's more than I can do. We spill these cups literally 15 seconds before we go live every episode. Goochman Twitch, what up, Mike? Giving those 5 gift subs, thank you very much. Kalen Roar with 150 bits. Goochman Twitch with the resub for 2 months in a row, 5 total months. Love it. Wyburn25, Adam and Andy, thank you for the follow. Deft Juz, thank you for the resub for 3 months in a row.
I think we just had some while you were, I don't know if you got these.
Yeah, Doba Chrono.
Thank you while we were doing this. And also Job Things with the bits. So appreciated. We love you so much, everybody. We do. You got a new clip on Patreon on Friday. You'll have another one this week, of course.
Mm-hmm. Hey.
Thanks, BBs.
Thanks, BBs. Thanks for showing up. Thank you for following us. Thank you for joining the Discord. Y'all are wonderful, and we love seeing you over there.
It's free to do.
It's fucking free real estate.
And hey, if they wanted to come and watch your birthday stream tomorrow, where would they watch it?
You would watch it on twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni. Everywhere else on the internet, I'm at A Carboni. Twitch, you cowards, it's mine. Give it back to me. And of course, every Friday, you can hear a new episode of my science comedy podcast, We Have Concerns, with Jeff Kanata. And oh my goodness, Sage.
Do tell.
At the end of this very week, people should be ready. Because Friday night,
yes,
our D&D 5e show, Failed Save, one of the tabletop shows we have here on the channel, is hitting the end of its first campaign.
It's a big deal. We have had season finales before, but this is our first campaign finale. That means it is the end of the current story. The characters will be back, the performers will be back, but moving on to an entirely new piece. This is the end of the story of the rebellion for now, at least in the way that we've been telling it. So it's a pretty fucking big deal, is what I'm saying.
And when we say the characters and the performers will be back, we mean in some form. Potentially.
We'll see about that.
Who knows?
So, that'll be live at 7 p.m. Pacific over on this channel on Friday night. So be sure to join us for that. If you want to find me on the internet, you can find me everywhere on the internet at NotSage. I stream over on my channel. You can find me this afternoon on Smosh Games for Board AF. We're going to be playing, we're having a family game night.
Oh.
It's going to be there at 4 o'clock. I don't know what time I said yet, if I did. We're going to be live at 4 o'clock Pacific. We've moved our stream times around a little. So we're having a little family game night.
Love it.
We're playing little family games. It's going to be very funny. And you can also find me on the D&D channel. You can find me on Mad Cave Studios. I'm around. Thank you. That's it.
That's it, BBs. We love you. Have a
day.
wonderful week. We'll
care of
see you
yourselves.
on Wednesday.
Love you, BBs. Bye.